Welcome to the story of the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, like you've never heard it before.
This story isn't told to you by the one Dragonborn that masters all, but told to you through the eyes of many different characters.
From soldiers in the Civil War seeking peace and order,
to seeking freedom and to remove the weakness from her lands.
From those cursed by the night, seeking to be the vigil in the darkness.
To warriors seeking honor, glory, and companionship.
To a shapeshifter and worshipper of the Daedra who seeks to live a life as a warrior.
To a mage seeking power and the arcane knowledge of Aetherius.
To assassins seeking fear and bringing the cold touch of Sithis.
To thieves seeking wealth beyond measure.
We all hope you enjoy
this story
of the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim.
Chapter 43, The Hunt. Life has gotten really busy since I joined up with the Dawnguard. There's not much time to rest. We're always moving. Investigating leads into vampires. It's busy work and has us traveling all over Skyrim in the heart of winter. We've recruited more people, either those like myself who have lost people to the bloodsuckers, or those noble of heart who wish to spare others from such pains. We number around 17, all out in different places tracking down leads until we come across a coven of the abominations. I've been sent to Markarth to investigate a vampire who has been in contact with a priestess of Dibella. Of all people to be messing around with vampires, why in the gods would a priestess associate with such foul creatures? Wow, this city is massive. I remember my mother and father telling me that Markarth was older than the Nords themselves. I'm not too sure they have to worry about vampire attacks here. I was told as a girl that Dibella was the goddess of beauty and love. Growing up, I learned that Dibella focuses more on the physical side of love. I was also told that the priestesses don't normally wear clothes in this temple. But being winter, they might be covered up, I hope. It will wipe the smile off Linnoit's face. Thank the gods they are wearing clothes. It's a bit indecent to be walking around in the nude in a public place of worship. The priestess told me that I couldn't be here because they were communing with Dibella. I don't care if they are communing with Dibella. I'm here on Dawnguard business. And for anybody with blood in their veins, that's anybody's business. Even more so, one of their priestesses has been seen with one of the bloodsuckers. Men are not allowed to step foot into the inner sanctum. So I'll go talk to this priestess and find out where this vampire is hiding so we can wipe this monster out. We need to find these vampires before they turn bandit clans into blood-crazed vampires. If we kill their infiltrators, we can stop their armies. From what I hear, these priestesses sleep with men, or even women who come to worship Dibella. That's rather disgusting. There's worship, and then there's being a whore. At least the wenches in the taverns get paid for what they do. But who am I to judge? I've been with 2 different men since I started on the roads. When I went down there, their mother priestess wasn't too happy about me being down there. She was upset that I interrupted them communing with Dibella. I told her why I was down there and explained that I must talk to one of her priestesses about a vampire they had been in contact with. She told me that she would help me if I helped her. She sent me on this chase to find her Sibyl, a child who can commune with the goddess Dibella. We traveled to Karthwasten, but the place was in lockdown from Silverblood mercenaries because the Forsworn had attacked and stolen the girl from her family. I chose to help the town by making the mercenaries move on, and I went to free the child with Linnoit. Those Forsworn were fearsome, but they're no match for the Dawnguard. We freed the child and brought her back to the temple. Only then would this mother priestess allow me to talk to this Anwen.
You found her. I can't believe it. Let the girl come with me and we can begin her preparation. I will send word to her family that she is in good hands. You've truly earned the blessing of Dibella, child. Prostrate yourself before her altar, and she will bestow her gift.
When I went to talk to this priestess, she tried to act stupid. But I'm truly disgusted that a servant of the gods would even at the slightest be in contact, or on her back, lying with legs spread for a disgusting vampire. I wasn't going to deal with her crap. She would tell me, or I swear to the gods I was going to beat the stupid out of her.
Where he is. Now please, leave me alone.
The vampire was hiding in Falkreath with some necromancers. Now we have to head east again and get as close as possible before sundown. We made it to Rorikstead, a little farming village bordering the Reach and Whiterun. This is where Linoid and I would spend the night. Linoid and I would always head out together. He always had my back, he was cheeky and funny. I always felt safe traveling with him. Just like myself, he lost his sister to a vampire and joined to avenge her. Plus, he was very handsome. He knew how to make me laugh. It felt good having someone I could trust who knew my pain. He knew what it was like to have vampires kill the ones we love. I guess it just made us close. Out hunting vampires is living day by day, so we might as well live life like it's always going to be our last day. We fought the same fight. We suffered the same pain. There was no one else I trusted more than him. It was sunrise, and we needed to get moving. The vampire would be weakened by the sun rising, so now was our chance to find this monster and turn it into ash. Winter can be dangerous, but how it turns the golden fields of Whiterun and the green forests of Falkreath white is simply beautiful. We finally reached the watchtower where this vamp was hiding. After a day's hunt, we're finally here to stop this monster. This bloodsucker won't hurt anybody else or turn any more bandits to their cause. When I'm done, the winds will clean away this filth from Skyrim.
Never should have come here.
The vampire and his allies were put to death. The job was done, and Skyrim is a safer place for it. It's now time to head back to Fort Dawnguard, get some rest, and see if there's any more work to be done. It was good to be back here, seeing the others. Sometimes you don't really get to see them. They're out there just like me, hunting. But it's good to see them when they're back. But the best thing is the sleep. We're always out on the roads hunting. Sometimes it's days until we find our Night Stalker. So we're always tired and sleep in inns. You're always on guard, worried about a vampire attack or something going wrong. But here you feel safe. It feels like sleeping at home. Not a worry in the world when you close your eyes, up until dragons stalk your dreams. It's always the same dream. A black dragon with red eyes roaring across the skies, while the world falls silent and darkness swallows you. In these dreams, it's eternal darkness and there's no life. Only the one dragon flying overhead. Same dream, different places. When I woke, I found out I had another job, but Linoid had been sent on a supply mission. I was to have Kellan as my backup. The mission was to hunt down a vampire pretending to be the Jarl's advisor. The Jarl had no idea of the threat. The last thing we need is entire holds joining the vampires. The target was in Winterhold. I recall the countless stories my parents shared about this place. In a bygone era of Skyrim's history, Nords held magic in high esteem. Now we Nords do everything in our power to avoid its grasp. In the days when Winterhold was a thriving hold, it was a city of magic. The lamps never went out, the inns cleaned themselves, and even the guards used magic. Now it's just a ghost hold. Now we need to get in there and convince the Jarl that his new advisor is a bloodsucker. If not, we're going to have to break a few laws to prove there hides a monster. There it was. I'll try to handle things by the law, but most of the time the vampire has poisoned the minds of its targets. So we always have to resort to a fight to free the good people of Skyrim.
That's quite a bold claim. I'd need proof before I could possibly accept it. Keep safe.
I have no skills as a pickpocket, but I'll see what I can do. If it's alone, I can deal with it then and there. As soon as it saw me, it attacked. They recognized this armor. It's good that the vampires know us. It means we're making a name for ourselves. When they see this armor, they know their end is near. When I slaughtered the foul creature, I found a note in the ashes proving that it was a vampire. That's one less vampire stalking the knights, or fanged hold guards aiding the vampires. On the way out, we were met by one of our couriers, Salaya. She had news for us to meet other members at Morthal, as they had found a lair that I was familiar with. Vampires had taken back Movarth's lair. Since I knew the place, I was given the lead. We set off to Morthal. But first, we must stop for the night at Nightgate Inn. We'll stay here for the night. I really hope that Linnoit is safe out there. I hope he's doing well, or that he'll be at Morthal. The sun was rising and the weather wasn't so bad. We had to get moving before the snows come back. We need to get to Morthal before the sun goes down, long before. While on the roads, we're always reminded of this civil war, even during the winter, with all the bodies left on the roads for wolves and vampires. It seems no matter how many we kill, 10 more pop up and take their place. On the way to Morthal, I recognized where we were. This place was a hidden shrine to Talos that I once prayed at. I shall pray once more for the safety of this hunt and its success in killing these monsters. Still untouched by the Thalmor, it feels like an ancient, peaceful place of Skyrim, untouched by foreign hands. Thank you, mighty Talos, for your guidance and protection. We shall cleanse Skyrim of its abominations. The Imperials are still holding strong in this war. There's a part of me that wants to see Skyrim free, with the Nords ruling Skyrim. But there's another part that thinks Skyrim and the Empire are one, brother and sister fighting side by side for centuries. I just can't pick a side I'd support. Us Nords and the Imperials are the two sides of the same coin. One side the symbol of the Empire, and the other, the face of Talos. If only they could see they were all one. Maybe then, this war might end. We drew closer to Morthal, and the weather turned bad with thick snow. We draw closer to ending these vampires. There's just something beautiful about the snow when it blankets the land. It feels quiet and peaceful, like we're in a place untouched by time. We made it to Morthal in the afternoon with 4 hours of light left. I remember this. A family lost due to vampires. They burned down this home, killed a little girl and her mother, and enslaved the father, whom I had to kill. I hunted the one who caused all of this, and in doing so, avenged my own family by killing the vampire who attacked years ago, killing my sister and mother. This is why I fight, to protect others from the pain I suffered from vampires. Here is where I met the woman who helped me kill those vampires. But since joining the Dawnguard, I found out she wasn't just some ordinary woman. She too was a vampire hiding among us. I can't believe I let them take me into that cave. They could have killed me. But from what I've read, this Dark Knight, who Cecilia was, has hunted the bad sorts of Skyrim for hundreds of years. She might have been a bloodsucker, but I don't know. Maybe she wasn't a bad one. She could have hurt me, but she helped me. And I believe without her, I would have died. The vampires are definitely back in Movarth's lair. That would have been a scout. Time to go in there and burn them all out. These marshes are haunted by the dead. What happened here so long ago to curse this land? Vampires think themselves safe hiding among the corpses. Well, they're not hiding from Marillia's light. There's the cave where these bloodsuckers are hiding. It's now time to go in there and burn them all out. Make sure every last one of those monsters is turned to ash so they shall never rise again and hurt the people of Skyrim. When we find a lair, we travel in greater numbers. This way, we stand a good chance of survival. The more of us there are, the less chance of vampires surviving. Felt like old times, but this time I was ready when I charged them. Unlike last time, like I said before, if it wasn't for Cecilia, I believe I would have become their food. After we were done making sure they were all ashes, it was time to head back to Dawnguard. But there was something I wanted to do. There were some people I wanted to see before I went back. I wanted to go home and speak to my family again. It had been so long since I saw them. It had been months since I had been home. I wonder how she's fared since. Has it been burned down? Or does it stand silent? I can see home. It still looks to be standing strong. My parents made it to last after all. I don't think a few short months could hurt that house. When I got close, I could see the lamps and candles were still lit. Was something living in my house? There are animals and fire. Somebody must have moved in after I left. There they were, my family. It feels like it's been a lifetime since I've talked to them. I've missed them so much. Just being able to talk to them feels like I lose so much weight off my shoulders. Here lies my mother Holy, my sister Lisra, and my father Peldar Sablesword. When I was the only one left, this was the place I spent most of my days, just talking to headstones. It brought me peace in all the loneliness. It's as close as I can get to having them back. I know Father would be proud of my actions trying to save lives from the vampires. And Lisra would be proud that I followed our dreams of becoming bards. Mother would be proud of the woman I've become. When I look into the mirror, I only see her face smiling back towards me. One day we will meet again, but not on this day. I better get inside and see who's living in my house before I join the dead from this cold. Someone is definitely here. All the candles are lit and I can hear someone drinking. Time to find out if bandits or those sheltering from the cold have decided to move in. When I opened the door, an old man, frightened by me, jumped out of his seat with weapon drawn and moved towards me, demanding to know who intrudes in his home. How ironic. His wife told him to sit down, saying that if I was there to hurt them, I wouldn't just be standing there with a stupid look on my face. She invited me in for some warm food and a place to stay for the night. She asked who I was, and she was surprised to find out that I owned this home. I told her that those graves outside were my family, and she wanted to hear all about me. I told her that I fight with the Dawnguard, and that my name is Ragni. She wanted to hear my story, and so I told her. I told them that when I was a girl, my mother and sister were killed by vampires, and my father trained me to be strong. When he died, I left to become a bard, but I ended up joining the Dawnguard because of all the vampires. I hadn't much more to tell. I haven't lived a full life worth of stories yet. She told me that I was more than welcome to stay that night, that after all, they were living in my home. I told her thank you and that she can live here as long as she likes. It was time for some rest. Our old beds. It only feels like yesterday that Lisra and I would talk for hours at night, imagining what we would be doing as grown-ups. And now it's for me to imagine what she would have done if she had gotten here. When I fell asleep, I had a dream. Another dragon dream, but nothing like the other ones. This one was different. It felt real. I was on top of an Imperial fort while a dragon attacked, and its Imperial soldiers fought for their lives. What in oblivion was that dream? It felt so damn real. What in oblivion I could feel that? What in the gods was that? Maybe I just need some air. I should really get back to Fort Dawnguard. Maybe being home has done something weird to my head. Almost every night I have those dragon dreams. But that was something different. Like I felt like that was real and I was there. It can't be. Dragons have been gone for thousands of years. By the gods, I can't get those images out of my head. I can't stop thinking about it. Why? On the way back to Dawnguard, I come across some of the wandering undead. But then I heard something. Something I only hear from my dreams. What in Talos? What is going on with me? Am I losing it? Now I can hear those roars while awake? What in oblivion is wrong with me? Again? They sound so damn real. Like fear cracks across the sky like lightning. I better deal with these corpses before I fully lose control of myself. I don't know if I'm just losing my mind or hearing things, or if that's real. I need to get out of here. This place brings out the worst in me. By the time I made it back into Whiterun, the noises in my head had stopped. Everything felt normal again, apart from the guards and soldiers I would see looking strangely into the sky. Did they hear what I heard too? They couldn't have. No, there are no such things as dragons anymore. I finally made it back into the rift, but along the way I heard those noises again, but like they were further away. I need to get to Dawnguard and take some time off. Maybe I'm working too hard. Finally back home. I'm going to take some time off to get some much-needed rest and clear my head. Hopefully I can get back out there to slay some vampires. When I got back, Isran was waiting for me. Can this wait? I'm really not ready for another hunt.
To the bottom of why a vampire showed up here looking for you. Let's go have a little chat.
A vampire had come looking for me. I wonder if it's Cecilia. Time to go meet whatever moronic vampire just delivered themselves into the fire. Ah, that one. The one I helped escape. The one I handed back to her disgusting family. What was I thinking back then? No idea why I didn't just turn it to ashes. And bring that Elder Scroll here. Let's hear what it has to say. And if we don't like it, we can always just turn it into ashes.
You probably weren't expecting to see me again. I'd rather not be here either, but I needed to talk to you. It's important, so please, just listen before your friend here loses his patience. It's about me and the Elder Scroll that was buried with me. The reason I had it, and why I was down there. It all comes back to my father. I'm guessing you figured out this part already, but my father's not exactly a good person, even by vampire standards. He wasn't always like that, though. There was a turn. He stumbled onto this obscure prophecy and just kind of lost himself in it. It's pointless and vague, like all prophecies. The part he latched onto said that vampires would no longer need to fear the sun. That's what he's after. He wants to control the sun, have vampires control the world. Anyway, my mother and I didn't feel like inviting a war with all of Tamriel, so we tried to stop him. That's why I was sealed away with the scroll. I'm sorry. I had heard there were vampire hunters here. I thought they might want to know about a vampire plot to enslave the rest of the world. Was I wrong? That was the plan, yes. Assuming the rest of them can trust a vampire. Come on, I'll need your help to convince them. Sounds good.
All right, you've heard what it has to say. Now tell me, is there any reason I shouldn't kill this blood-sucking fiend right now?
I hate vampires, but if what she said is true, we're going to need this one.
Why? Because of that story about the prophecy about some vampire trying to put the sun out?
Do you actually believe any of that?
Who knows? Maybe it has a death wish. Maybe it's just insane. I don't really care.
It can stay for now. But if it so much as lays a finger on anyone here, I'll hold you responsible. Got it? You hear me? Don't feel like a guest, because you're not. You're a resource. You're an asset. In the meantime, don't make me regret my sudden outburst of tolerance and generosity. Because if you do, your friend here is going to pay for it.
Thank you for your kindness. I'll remember it the next time I'm feeling hungry. So, in case you didn't notice the giant thing on my back, I have the Elder Scroll with me. Whatever it says, it will have something that can help us stop my father. But of course, neither of us can read it. Well, the Moth Priests are the only ones I've heard of who can do it. They spend years preparing before they start reading, though. Not that it helps us anyway, because they're all half a continent away in Cyrodiil.
Some Imperial scholar arrived in Skyrim a few days ago. I was staking out the road when I saw him pass by. Maybe that's your Moth Priest.
Do you know where he's staying now?
No, and I'm not going to waste men looking. We're fighting a war against your kind, and I intend to win it. You want to find him? Try talking to anyone who'd meet a traveler. Innkeepers and carriage drivers in the big cities, maybe. But you're on your own.
Any idea how you're going to find a Moth Priest? Skyrim's a pretty big place. Well, back before you know. The College of Winterhold was the first place I'd think to go to for any kind of magic or historical thing. The wizards know about all kinds of things that people probably shouldn't know about. Actually, now that I think of it, I'm going to come along with you. I've been really wanting to get out and explore a bit.
Here we are.
Yes. The welcome I received felt really cold, even by vampire standards. My father, after all these years, that's the first thing he asked me. I trust you have the scroll. Yes, I have the scroll, gods. Thanks. Sorry, I have a whole host of emotions I don't know how to deal with. My family. It probably wasn't what you'd call normal. Yeah, let's move. I'm glad you're here with me.
Well, it seems like I'm getting no rest then. And I've got this vampire at my back. Where in Oblivion is Linnoit when you need him? I don't like this one bit. But what she has said has helped. These damn vampires want to take out the sun. That could possibly be the worst thing ever. If she can help stop this, then I'll try to be nice to it. We set up at sunup the next day. I had the vampire with me and plenty of Dawnguard. This quest was of high priority. We weren't just hunting vampires. We were now trying to stop them from taking out the sun. This was way more important than any hunt. This was world-ending stuff. I joined the effort to stop the vampires because their numbers had grown too large. It was unnatural. Vampires typically hide away and avoid daylight, being skittish creatures. However, now they were moving in large numbers during the day. We discovered that the Volkihar clan was turning them to weaken Skyrim and divert attention from their true objective, finding a way to blot out the sun. I refuse to allow it. I won't let those vampires steal the sun from us. They have already taken too much.
Might be that I have, but I can't say for sure. I got enough troubles on my mind just trying to scrape by out here.
So what we needed was to find a Moth Priest, some Imperial scholars who devote their lives to reading Elder Scrolls, so we can learn what the vampires want and stop them. We found out one was seen in Skyrim. We discovered that this Moth Priest was heading to Dragonbridge. That's where we will go. It's of the utmost importance we find him before the vampires do. Just before we reached Dragon's Bridge, we found blood on the bridge. It could have been from the war, but it felt wrong. I just knew somehow we were already too late. We found a flipped carriage with dead people around it. An Imperial soldier and a vampire. This was our Moth Priest's carriage. The vampires have him. Luckily, the vampire's orders were left on her corpse, and they have the Moth Priest nearby. We'll have to follow the blood trail to the cave where they have him. Darned Thalmor, the world is turning into a mess, and they're still out hunting those of us who worship Talos. We followed the blood into the entrance of a cave. These won't be your run-of-the-mill vampires. These will be dangerous ones on a mission to blot out the sun. I fear that not everyone here will come out alive. But those of us that fall will help save the world. We need that moth priest so we can learn of their plan and stop them. We can't let them have him and warp his mind into serving them. Those damn death hounds. Some abomination created by vampires or oblivion. Their bites feel like the touch of death. You feel so alone, cold, and scared when their teeth meet your skin. The vampires and their slaves would have hurt us. We need to get in there quickly and rescue this moth priest from their hands before they break his will. It was so dark. Even the enchantment of my helmet didn't help much. It might have been pitch darkness, but my blade will find their skin. I went ahead. I had vampires to kill and a moth priest to save. I trusted that the rest of them could handle the vampires and their thralls while I charged towards their leader. With Dawnbreaker in my hands, the vampires will know the true fear of death. Marillia's light will purify them. I had killed their leader, but the barrier holding the moth priest was still up. Before I could even look into it, I was attacked by 2 vampires from behind. How did they get through my men? This magical barrier was strong. Not even Dawnbreaker could touch it. Perhaps that weird rock I got off their leader turns the barrier off. Then we can free this moth priest.
But my master is dead, and his enemies will pay.
I freed the moth priest, but something didn't feel right. He couldn't still be enthralled after the death of the leader, could he?
I knew I heard something.
He was. I got close to him. He lashed out at me with his blade. Somehow his mind was still under the control of their leader, who was now Ash. This vampire magic was beyond powerful. I couldn't kill him, or we'd lose out on knowing what the vampires are after to block out the sun. I won't kill another poor innocent who's been enthralled by vampires. Never again. I used my shield to knock some sense back into him. Thankfully, it freed him of the vampire's influences.
Thank the Divines for you. I'm quite all right, thanks to you. Dexian Evicus is my name. I'm a moth priest of the White Gold Tower. These vampires claimed they had some purpose in store for me, but they wouldn't say what. Probably hoping to ransom me, the fools. You do? All right then, enough mysteries. You have an Elder Scroll. Remarkable. If my knowledge of history serves me, I recall that the Dawnguard was an ancient order of vampire hunters. I will be happy to assist you with your Elder Scroll. Just tell me where I need to go. Very well. I'll hurry on my way there before more of those vampires turn up.
After I had freed him, it dawned on me that my team wasn't here. Not even the vampire. Everyone who came with me had been killed, apart from the vampire. It was heartbreaking, the weight of loss heavy in my heart as I stood alone in the aftermath of the battle. I was overwhelmed with grief and guilt as I stood amidst the silence, surrounded by the aftermath of the battle. The loss of all my friends, everyone I had led into this fight, weighed heavily on my heart. It felt like a crushing failure, and the emptiness around me echoed the void left by their absence. As the lone survivor, the weight of responsibility to honor my fallen comrades bore down on me. I couldn't let these heroes rot in the darkness of the cave. They deserved a burial befitting their bravery and sacrifice, a final tribute to their valor in the face of darkness. Those who discover their graves may not know the names of the fallen, but they will live on in freedom because of them. I set up camp after I had buried the others. The only company I had was the vampire. She knew I didn't like her, but she remained close, yet silent. She sat there gazing into the flames, a hint of sadness on her face. I never thought vampires could feel anything. It seemed like she didn't want to be alone. After the loss, neither did I. However, I would prefer the company of a troll over a vampire. As I sat there trying to keep warm, I could feel her eyes fixed on me, like she was thinking about me. At the same time, I was all alone, and the only thing to talk to was her.
Not that often, really. Being a daughter of Cold Harbor, I can go without blood longer than other vampires. That, and I can also rest to regain my energy. It doesn't fully satiate the appetite, but it staves off hunger for a while. So, don't worry. I won't go feral on you or anything just because I haven't had a daily meal. I also read stories. There was supposedly a vampire in Akavir which never fed in her entire life? Or whatever you call it. Supposedly, she even protected mortals from her own kind. Yeah, actually.
It does feel kind of normal, but that's from me, speaking as a vampire. Even as I'm undead, or however you put it, I still do feel like a normal person, mostly. I still breathe, feel, and sleep. Except now I just have a great desire for blood, and the sun kind of irritates my skin. These symptoms are rather mild, though, not like other vampires who almost burn in the sunlight. So, I'm really just like you mortals in many ways. Hopefully, that makes me more relatable.
We are nothing alike. Vampires are all abominations. How could she think we are the same? To live forever, she needs to kill people and drink their blood. They're monsters, of unnatural life. We aren't meant to live forever. As I slept, the vampire watched over me, and that doesn't give one a good night's rest, I can tell you. We were to set off back to Fort Dawnguard. The Moth Priest would have spent the night in the inn and taken a carriage back. By the time we arrive, he should already be there to read the scroll the vampire brought with her. When we arrived back home, he was waiting for us, ready to read the Elder Scroll. Then we will know more and how to stop these vampires from blocking out the sun.
I see a vision before me, an image of a great bow. I know this weapon. It is Oriel's bow. Now a voice whispers, saying, "Among the night's children, a dread lord will rise. In an age of strife, when dragons return to the realm of men."
Wait, did he just say dragons?
With light, and the night and the day will be as one. The voice fades and the words begin to shimmer and distort. But wait, there is more here. The secret of the bow's power is written elsewhere. I think there is more to the prophecy, recorded in other scrolls. Yes, I see them now. One contains the ancient secrets of the dragons, and the other speaks of the potency of ancient blood. My vision darkens, and I see no more. To know the complete prophecy, we must have the other two scrolls. I must rest now. The reading has made me weary.
Come on, old man. You should get some rest.
He read that we needed two other scrolls, one called the Sun, and the other Dragons. It looks like a busy road ahead, with the vampire following behind to help stop her own people. I don't like it, but if she's willing to help stop her father, then we need her help. It's our only chance to save all of Tamriel from eternal night.
G'day guys. So I hope you've enjoyed chapter 43. There will be a rant video that follows 30 minutes after this, and if you've made all the way to the end to this outro, then it should already be out. Remember, if you like this sort of stuff, to give it a like and comment your thoughts, anything like that, because it'll help this video get out there to more people that enjoy these sort of stories, or wish to do their own, or wish to take ideas and stuff like that, for those that kind of want to grand in their story, maybe even go into the multiple character saves, stuff like that. But anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed, and if you want to learn all the background stuff, inspirations, story elements, characters, all that sort of crap, there will be a rant video you can watch now. Anyway, I'm out of here. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and see you in the next one.